And now I invite Tobi Birch up.
Good morning. My name is Tobi, and to be honest, when Sarah approached me about speaking for the service today, I wasn't sure what I had to say. Like many people, I went to college right after high school with no real idea of what I actually wanted to do with my life. A few years later, I left with a lot more stress than I had going in, but no degree and still no plan. I've bounced from state to state, job to job, and the only real constant I've had throughout them all is an unexplained and increasingly debilitating sense of chronic pain and fatigue. All of my plans, of course, involved ignoring this. I would be supportive of friends, telling them to take their time, rest, take care of themselves, before turning around and telling myself that I'm obviously just lazy for needing a break. Most of the things I love to do, embroidery, roller skating, even playing video games, can't be done without pain anymore. And if I try to push through it, I'll end up not being able to use a limb or two the next day. This did not and does not stop me from pushing myself. But these past few years have been a big exercise in learning to be kinder and more patient with my body. Reminding myself that if anyone spoke to my friends the way that I speak to myself, well, me and that person would be having some issues. And at the end of the day, you're stuck with yourself, so you might as well try to be friends. So, what do I plan to do with this one wild and precious life? I'm 28 years old, and right now, all I can do is my best. But I'm starting to learn that it is enough, and that's all anyone can ask for.
Next, we have Megan Pascoe Sheppard.
Good morning. What do I plan to do with my one wild and precious life? Like you, Toby, this was a tough one to answer for sure. I definitely plan to embrace and enjoy what I consider my perfect campsite. I plan to trust that all of the hustling, proving, and searching that defined most of my 20s and 30s has led me to the age of 45, where I get to say, I've arrived. I've got all that I want. This is the inner peace that I plan to experience more often. This is my perfect campsite. I'm getting there. My 40s are quite magical. I can now feel an inner peace that I used to think only existed if I searched and went somewhere to find it. I often think of moments when my partner CJ and I, in our 20s, after a long day of mountain biking, would drive around remote parts of Utah and Colorado looking for a place to camp for the night. With our dog panting in the back seat and Ani DeFranco blaring from our speakers, we would often joke that if we just looked hard enough, we could find that perfect campsite. And the joke, of course, was that there was no one perfect anything. Yet most of the time, we would nod in agreement that this was the one, the perfect campsite, even when the thunderclouds unleashed heavy rains, flooding our tent in the middle of the night, or when strangers strolled by staring with suspicion and possibly wondering, are you sisters? It often felt just right, and this rhythm continues to present itself. Search, look, find, stumble, fall, search again, fall a bit harder, and so it continues. Along with the inevitable heartbreaks and failures, this rhythm carries on, and my life feels just right. What I can see now that I could not see then at 25 was that this perfect campsite was not out there, but it existed in here. It was not a place, it was a feeling, the perfect campsite. There was so much angst and excitement and first in my 20s and 30s, so much discovering, proving, justifying, so much hustling. The searching felt endless, in part due to my own privilege and due to some hard work and determination. Much of my searching has and continues to work out well for me. Along with my partner, of almost 22 years, I get to raise 3 quirky, creative, and very loving children. Each day, I get to educate brilliant 11 and 12-year-olds with stories that at times break my heart, but more often fill me with hope. As a feminist, as a teacher, a social activist, a mother, an athlete, I get to spend my days engaging in the world with a determination to make things a little better for my kids, for my students, for the climate, for those of us that sit in the margins due to some kind of injustice, and for myself. My 40s are teaching me to keep this last sentence close to my heart, and for myself. And so I plan to keep moving through this rhythm of my life, but to trust it more and to search within myself more. I can see that the hustling has quieted down some, and I can actually sit in my home at the end of a long day reflecting on all the noise, the kids yelling, the dogs barking, the students protesting, the news breaking, the climate changing, the injustices rising. But I can choose to turn off the noise for just a little while and sit with my inner peace, my perfect campsite. This is what I plan to do.